The Cronulla Sharks just too good in the end, 44-24 on the Gold Coast over the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. And there were a few scary moments for them, but in the end, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tries to 4 to cement their spot in the 8. They now sit in 7th with 6 games to go. Nice to have your company here on the final whistle. Andrew Johns, Brad Fittler sitting with me in the studio. And over at the Cbus Super Stadium on the sideline is a Cronulla Sharks superstar in Shaun Johnson, who's been good enough to join us after the game. Shaun, appreciate your time. We'll discuss the match shortly, but first, obviously, we saw the premature exit for you out of this afternoon's game. Just how bad is the hamstring injury?
Well, I'm no doctor, but it doesn't feel too flash. I'll get a scan tomorrow and know a bit more then.
Mate, is it the same leg as the Achilles problem?
Yeah, it is. I haven't actually done this hammy before, but it is the same side as my Achilles, so a bit confused on, why it's happened, but, I'll look after it as best I can and hopefully we'll be back sooner rather than later.
Mate, do you know when Matt Moylan, is he, from an injury point of view, will he be available?
I'm not too sure on Matty. I know he's, chipping away slowly and getting through his rehab, so hopefully he's not too far off, bro.
What about today, mate? It looked very comfortable early on. Everyone, all the systems were working.
Yeah, we had a really good week, of prep. We all come into the game very clear about our roles and, what a good performance was going to look like. And that first half obviously set up our game. So lots to like there. I thought the second half, we'll probably have to look at that a little bit, take a bit away from that. But all in all, we came out to get the 2 points. They're so crucial at this point of the season. So, we can sort of go back to the hotel and sit in quarantine for the next few days with a smile on our face.
Shaun, Braden Trindle, really impressed with him today. Tell us about him.
Yeah, he's an out-and-out footballer. He's a halfback, a true halfback. Got a good voice on him, and he's not afraid to have a crack at anything. So he's going to be crucial for us heading forward for the rest of the season, and certainly can't wait to see him grow into that role.
Mate, you sort of now know what your future looks like. How have you found your time at the Sharks?
Yeah, look, I've loved the last 3 years, and it's funny. You go through different emotions. When I got told I wasn't wanted or needed by the Sharks, I was pretty disappointed and pretty gutted. And then sort of 4 weeks later, the opportunity comes up to return home, and then I'm just like, man, everything happens for a reason. Like, I can't wait for that. I'm so excited. My family's so excited to head home. But before that, just really wanted to finish the season off strong here and repay the Sharks for giving me that crack 3 years ago. And I'm frustrated for many reasons at the moment with this injury because this was not part of my plans. I really wanted to finish the year strong, playing some good footy for him. So hopefully I'll get to wear the jersey again.
We hope so too, Shaun. Thanks for joining us and all the best with that recovery.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Shaun Johnson, Cronulla Shark, and soon to be Warrior again on the back of Cronulla's big win over the Bulldogs. Fellas, when you look at that, and we just saw it there, that run home for Cronulla now. Seagulls next week on 9, then it's the Warriors, Newcastle, West Tigers, Broncos, and then Melbourne in the last round, who may or may not rest players ahead of finals. They're 7th right now.
Yeah, they'll play semis for sure.
Yep.
For sure.
Yeah, I feel them. Canberra, Sharks, I feel like they'll bring up the bottom 2 places.
Tell you what, in terms of recruitment, they've got a bit going on at the moment. Re-signing Matt Moylan. We know Nico Hines coming from the Melbourne Storm, and the big news coming out of the weekend, Craig Fitzgibbon managing to nab Dale Finucane. And Brad, who obviously key part of your New South Wales Blues squad, 4-year deal for the star forward.
Well, a lot of people talk about culture, whether it's in sporting teams or businesses or whatever it is. The bottom line is culture is your actions. And when you just watch this bloke every minute that he's got your team colours on, he just shows every other person around them what they should be doing. So from a team that's going to be developing a new coach, he's going to be so helpful to Fitzy from a point of view of he'll be the voice or the actions of what you want your players to do. He does it every single day, every minute of every day. And that alone is going to be a great benefit for the club, and especially for a rookie coach.
In your time playing and coaching, is he probably the most player who's prepared?
Nathan Cleary, pretty close. Yeah. I don't know from a point of view with Dale with video, because I don't think he'd have to watch as much video. It's more about him getting his body ready and his mind ready. I've got to say Nathan's mostly the one from a point of view of he'd know more about every single player than anyone else that I've seen. So a couple of real professionals.
Did he serenade you in camp on the guitar?
Not this year.
Right.
He did 2 years ago. 2 years ago with Guy Sebastian. They sang a song together at Bondi. It was fantastic.
They sing for you?
Not for me.
Oh,
No.
I thought that's what you meant.
Yeah, I was exactly. Pick me I don't know why I did that. Cut.
Mate, you are that bloke from Little Miss Sunshine. You are that
Do you know
bloke.
what? I went out and looked at him the other day, and
It's
I
you.
can't deny it. The guy at the pageant at the end with the big teeth and the tan. Anyway, just quickly on the Sharks though. Matt Moylan, 1 year extension. Do you like it?
Yeah, I think so. He's got dramas with his body. If he gets his body right, we know he's a really classy player, but he's got to get his body right. So I think 1 year's good for both camps.
I think with Braden there, you got Nico, so there's a little bit of insurance around that as well. And I feel like Matty Moylan, it looks as though he wants to get everything right and finish his career strong.
Yep.
But I reckon his body's catching up to him a little bit. So I reckon an off-season with Fitzy and Nico and Braden, I reckon between them they can come up with a really good formula. I reckon Matt Moylan on his day is as slick as most 5'8" in the competition. He's just a wonderful mover, and you're right, he's just got to get a little bit stronger.
It must be hard for the Melbourne Storm having a farewell Nico Hines as well as Dale Finucane. You're two players in great form.
Well, imagine being a coach. Like, you just picture Craig Bellamy and just watching Nico Hines. You know, he's played reserve grade now for a couple of years there, and just sit and be patient. Obviously, he hasn't missed a beat the whole way along. Get his shot and then just look like a seasoned pro from day one. And, you know, obviously when that happens, they become more valuable, and that's what the salary cap does.
Well, he goes and then Nick Mooney comes in. I want to see the development next year of Nick Mooney when he goes down to the Storm.
Absolutely. May thrive under the Craig Bellamy system. Some other issues burning across the weekend. The World Cup and the announcement that the Australian Rugby League Commission and New Zealand Rugby League have decided that the Aussies and the Kiwis won't be representing later this year. There's a decision coming this week as to the status of the World Cup for this year and perhaps if it'll be postponed. Then there's talk that it might be an Indigenous side, the Maori side, to replace them. Is everyone on the same page here? Because it feels like there's so many different views from within the game on how this should play out.
No idea. No idea. I'd like to know whose decision it was to say that.
It was the leagues. So it was Andrew Abdo's, and I'm gathering
It
the
was?
commission. Yeah, they came out and just pretty much squashed Australia from playing, and I'm gathering whoever runs the New Zealand Rugby League have said that on behalf of that. So, you know, when I heard Clint Newton talk, he said the players weren't spoken to, so they had nothing to do with the decision. Most of the players that I spoke to wanted to play. Like we were saying before, we were talking about this earlier in the thing. It was awesome playing for Australia and going away with the best players. And, you know, origins like that where you bring the players in, but then all of a sudden you bring in the Queenslanders to New South Wales and you get to work out what they're about. It's, you know, it's just a massive thrill. I'm so sad for the players.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, last year's pre-season was disrupted pretty heavily. I'm not sure what the coaches feel about whether that's had some, you know, an impediment with injuries. It could be an excuse for the scorelines maybe.
Yep.
But, you know, it's the clubs that are behind this decision, without a doubt.
Just push it to next year, Andrew? Have everyone there? Do it the right way?
Yeah, I think so. Depends what happens with COVID. Like
It's
rampant
more about
over-
the lockdown, you know, because, like, in England, they just held Wimbledon, you know, and they just held the British Open was up
I
in
think they're
Scotland.
the
I
highest
think.
country with vaccinations. I think 81% of people over there have been vaccinated.
If we had more
different
guarantee,
to here, I think.
if we had more guarantee, I feel, at home, because, you know, apparently by November or so that we're going to have enough people vaccinated, why would you need to come over and quarantine? Wouldn't you just be able to come home and go home?
Absolutely.
Don't you know?
Go and talk to your mate Gladys.
Do you know?
She'll tell
No. Well,
Once we're all vaccinated, if people fly in, do you still got to isolate for 2 weeks or quarantine?
no, eventually it'll be if you're vaccinated, you can.
That's right.
You'll be
Well,
able to,
don't
we can
they
have
say
some
that-
sort of incentive for people to
Don't
get back to normal, don't
Don't
you?
they say that's happening in November? Then why are we,
Yep.
you know, holding a decision back a little bit?
It's a good point.
Come on, James.
What's
Golden-
the space on
the
that
golden one?
Brad Hazard.
Brad Hazard.
Kerry Champ.
He's all,
Kerry.
wouldn't want to be either of them at the moment. Hey, I tell you what, I wouldn't mind be a South Sydney or a Manly Seagulls fan because your team,
Wow.
They're looking good. Are they a real threat to the Panthers and to the Storm?
Definitely.
Well and truly.
Definitely. You
at
get
that.
South Sydney on a dry night or a dry... I've got a theory, South Sydney, whenever they play in the day, they just win. Because you can move the ball. And the skill level of South Sydney, they are just so on top of their game. They know how they want to play. The players, the combinations. They're a real chance, It's pretty bad dancing there.
Wim Hof.
And Manly's the same. Manly, they know their game. Look, we talk about Turbo and Jake and Terry Evans. That it's some of the lesser players who we don't really talk
Morgan
about.
Harper.
Harper is killing it. Olakan,
Yeah.
the big, the back rower on the right side. He is sensational. He is an absolute tearaway.
You have a look at their bench. You have a look at their extended bench. So you go past their bench. The people on the extended bench is Cade Cust, Moses Sully, Gajetski, and there's another. Sipley's on the bench with
back yet.
Sirinen. He'll be back as well. So all of a sudden, there's some really quality depth that have all knocked up. Bigger me.
So if you could pick a top 4 right now on form, who's your top 4?
Melbourne, Manly, Melbourne, South, Manly, Roosters.
Right, no Penrith.
How's Nathan's shoulder? Do you know? How far off is he?
It's getting better. I think if they keep winning, I feel like they'll hold him back as long as they can. He'll be able to come back and play. There won't be a problem there. But if the least amount of games he can play going into the finals would be the better. I don't think the injury, there's like a tear in, is it the, I don't know the word, the labyrinth? Is that it?
Yeah.
Isn't a labyrinth a maze?
Yeah.
I'm sure that's wrong.
What is this show? Is this a sports show?
But I feel like the more they win, the less he'll have to play. And I feel like that's better for them. I think Penrith for the moment, they're going good because they're winning games a different way than they were.
Can Penrith win the comp without Nathan?
Oh no, I don't think so. It'd be a hard slog to get there for one.
You agree, Andrew?
Yep.
Okay. Can't wait. Run to the finals.
What do you think, James?
It'll be a beauty. I'm going with the experts here. I concur with both of you.
Golden one.
Yeah. All right, now we're
Little
on
Miss Sunshine. We've got to get that up. Mate, it is you.
You watch our social guys might have a field day with that. I'll never be seen again. Hey, I know you love being timed, Brad. So on the clock. Here we go. Yep, this is how we're finishing today. Yes. You've got to finish the sentence. After beating the Eels, the Raiders' season is, Andrew?
Back.
Okay.
Alive.
Okay.
Did I get in trouble last week for my...
Only off Kate.
You can do no wrong here. The decision to not send off Tom Flegler was?
Puzzling.
Correct.
To not send him off.
I don't think it was a send-off.
What? Just clocked him. Instantly knocked him out. Anyway,
That was the last
continue.
game on last night, wasn't it? I may have been watching that through
Go on,
these
next one.
certain goggles. Wow. Mate, the last game, honestly. Last game, second half.
Yep. Please. And finally, Jake Granville playing fullback for the Cowboys was?
Entertaining.
I wasn't sure what to expect. I kind of enjoyed it.
He was good. I love watching. There was a couple of long kicks.
I've got a couple of words here that I just
Multiple
know
choice.
I shouldn't say. I know I shouldn't say. Oh,
Better not said. Better not said. Let's hold them ones
surprising.
back.
There we go.
Let's show some control.
That was nice and safe.
Do you think he could be a double for Dickie Nee? I see that hair fluffing
It's going to
around.
pop up in front of his desk at any moment.
I'm playing fullback. I used to play hooker, now I'm playing fullback.
I love Dickie Nee. He was the best.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
And you reckon he'd go now with the political
Oh, no,
correct?
no way. There's no place for Dickie Nee in
they already got in
2021.
trouble, didn't they?
Yeah. Dickie Nee go well on Twitter. That wouldn't last
They've just
long.
had to cancel everyone's backlog because it's just all not nice.
Are we finished here? I reckon we're done. Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Andrew. This show's called The Final Whistle.
Oh, yeah.
Shall we?
It's probably the final time it'll be on, too.
Bye for now.